Tonight, you might order sushi without a second thought. Raw fish, straight to your mouth. No fire, no pan, nothing. But try that with raw chicken. Your stomach turns just thinking about it. Why does one feel normal and the other feel like a death wish? You've never questioned it. Most people haven't. But your gut isn't reacting to logic. It's reacting to something ancient, something written into your biology long before restaurants existed. And the real reason has almost nothing to do with taste. Most people assume fish is just cleaner than meat. That's not quite right. The truth is stranger. Scientists call it a battle between two invisible enemies. One lives in muscle, one lives in gut bacteria, and only one of them can survive being frozen. Stay till the end, because the last part will change how you look at your next meal. So let's start with the enemy inside meat. Cows, pigs, chickens. Their guts are packed with bacteria, E. coli, Salmonella, Campylobacter. These bacteria live in the intestines, but during slaughter they can spread onto the surface of the meat, even into the muscle. Imagine you're a butcher in 1900. No refrigeration, no inspection labels, just raw meat and warm air. Bacteria multiplying by the hour. This wasn't rare, it was constant. And here's what's fascinating. Cooking doesn't just make meat taste better. It kills these bacteria outright. High heat breaks them down in seconds. That's why your ancestors who cooked meat survived, and the ones who didn't often didn't. But fish plays by different rules. Fish don't carry the same bacteria as land animals. Their bodies stay colder. Their gut bacteria evolved for cold ocean water, not for your warm insides. So when you eat raw fish, you're not facing the same bacterial threat at all, but that's only half the story, because fish has its own invisible enemy, parasites, tiny worms called anisakis. They live coiled inside fish muscle, waiting. And if you eat them alive, they can burrow into your stomach lining. Sounds terrifying. So how does sushi exist at all? Here's the twist. Freezing. Real sushi-grade fish isn't just fresh, it's flash frozen, down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit, held there for at least 7 days, cold enough to kill every parasite hiding inside. This isn't a chef's secret. It's federal law in the United States, FDA regulation since 2001. So when you eat sushi, you're not eating raw in the wild sense. You're eating something engineered to be safe. But try freezing raw chicken the same way. It does nothing, because bacteria don't die from cold. They just go dormant, waiting for warmth to wake back up. That's the hidden difference. Freezing defeats parasites, but bacteria laugh at your freezer. So what killed raw meat culture and let raw fish survive? Geography. Ancient coastal cultures in Japan had access to ice-cold ocean currents, natural refrigeration, thousands of years before mechanical freezers existed, cold water fish, cold air, low bacterial risk, high parasite risk solvable with cold. Meanwhile, inland cultures raising livestock faced the opposite problem. Warm-blooded animals, warm gut bacteria, no natural freezer nearby. Cooking became survival, not preference. Two environments, two completely different food safety puzzles, and your modern habits are still living inside those ancient solutions. But then science confirmed what history had been hinting at for centuries. A study published in the journal Food Control in 2014 tracked seafood-related illness versus meat-related illness across decades of data. The pattern held. Bacterial contamination dominated meat cases. Parasitic contamination dominated raw fish cases. Same planet, same human stomach, two totally different threats, and here's where it gets personal. Your instinct to trust sushi but distrust raw chicken, that's not random disgust. That might be inherited caution, passed down from ancestors who watched people get sick and unconsciously coded the difference into culture, then into taste, then into what feels normal to you today. You never studied microbiology, but your gut already knew the rules. But there's one more twist. Not all raw fish is safe, even frozen. Anisakis can be killed by freezing, but bacteria like Vibrio, found in shellfish from warm coastal waters, cannot. That's why raw oysters cause more food poisoning cases in the United States than raw fish overall, according to CDC seafood illness tracking. So the real rule was never fish equals safe. It was always about which threat you're facing and whether cold or heat can beat it. Which means the question was never really about fish or meat or sushi at all. It was about you and the invisible war your body fights every single time you eat. Every meal you've ever trusted without thinking was actually the end result of centuries of people getting sick, dying, adapting, and quietly passing the lesson down until it became instinct. You don't think about any of this when you pick up chopsticks, but your body remembers what your mind forgot. We didn't figure out food safety through science first. We figured it out through loss. And every normal habit you have today is really just an old warning wearing a new name.